Subscribe to our YouTube channel, press the bell icon and stay entertained. Tracking milestones of an incredible journey spanning 30 years. Rahman Music Sheets.
ईश्वर अल्लाह तेरे जहां में नफरत क्यों है, जग है क्यों, तेरा दिल जो इतना महान है, दुनिया का दिल तंग है क्यों. And I mean, I got goose flesh. Why do we fight with each other? Where does humanity disappear with war? So that's the thing about Mr. Rahman, is that he just gets it. And he gets it on an emotional, pure level. Any sectarian war is heartbreaking. Because, of course, what is used to perpetuate political violence is religion. It is the easiest tool to use. And for me, that was, to explore that was very important.
1947, Earth, the second film of the Elements trilogy by Deepa Mehta. Released in 1999, the film captures the scale of India's partition. The film focuses on a group of friends ripped apart by politics. Based on Ice Candy Man, a novel by Bapsi Shidhwa, a writer of Pakistani origin. Directed by Deepa Mehta, born and brought up in India, it's a story of Lahore, but shot in Delhi. One wonders if that's an irony or beauty of 1947 Earth.
I think it's the beauty of the film that it's taken a Parsi writer's book who lives in Houston, whose book is read by an Indo-Canadian and is shot in Delhi when it's supposed to be in Lahore, and it has Hindus and Muslims all collaborating together to make a film about saying how division on the name of religion is really harmful to humanity. Because if the film is trying to say anything, it says that borders are really disruptive. When we have strife or fights because people belong to a different religion than ours, then there's something really wrong. Humanity should be first. So I think it's not irony. I think it's the beauty of the film.
The soundtrack of 1947 Earth captures the time, its hopes and horrors. All the songs are written by Javed Akhtar. Singers include Sadhana Sargam, Hariharan, Sukhwinder Singh, Anuradha Sriram and Sujatha Mohan.
We were very lucky again to have a superb cast. There was Amir Khan, and there was Rahul, and of course the wonderful Nandita Das. And I think that there was no question that I really wanted A R Rahman to do the music. And this time I felt in Earth very strongly that we needed songs. I don't like to trivialize it by calling them songs. I think they're lyrics that have to do something with the situation. They aren't Hollywood Naach number. It isn't that at all. It is about lyrics when they inform the story, or they perpetuate, or they make the narrative go forward, are lyrics for me. If they cannot help the narrative, then we should not have lyrics. But in this case, I really felt that they could help the narrative, and I asked Mr. Javed Akhtar if he would do the lyrics, and he read the script and he said he would be delighted to. And of course, AR said, I will do the music, of course. And so we did. Rahman used to laugh and joke about the fact that there were some singers that I really did want. I mean, I'm not very fond of the high-pitched Indian women's voices. So there's a wonderful singer, Sadhana Sargam, whose voice is low. It isn't high-pitched. So we used her voice, and I wanted Sukhwinder and Hariharan, and these are beautiful voices. But it's more the lyrics. So once Javed gave us the lyrics, and I remember sitting outside again, AR's studio, in this little was a tin roof and flowers. It was very pretty. And we could drink a lot of coffee. We talked about the lyrics, and then we went inside, and one of the first ones that Rahman composed the music was for ईश्वर अल्लाह तेरे जहाँ में नफरत क्यों है जग है क्यों तेरा दिल जो इतना महान है दुनिया का दिल तंग है क्यों. And I got goose flesh. It was like he really took it to another level of really, if it was, why do we fight with each other? Where does humanity disappear with war? So that's the thing about Mr. Rahman, is that he just gets it. And he gets it on an emotional, pure level. I mean, it's not just his talent. There are many people who are talented, but there are very few people who are sensitive and actually live what they compose. Purity, humanity. And that's what makes Rahman so special.
You mentioned Ishwar Allah, but there was another song, Raat Ki Daldal, that sort of managed to convey the pain and agony of partition.
It was one of the first songs that we actually filmed. And it was the first scene with Aamir that we filmed, which is about a train coming into Delhi, and it was a train filled with corpses. And his sisters, the character's sister, Dilnawaz's character's sisters, were in there. And again, it's a combination of the music and the lyrics. You know, what do the lyrics say? They're literally telling you that why is the night, literally, why is the night, Raat Ki Daldal, why is the depth of despair something that we all as humanity have to go through? But there were also fun-loving songs in Earth. I mean, there's a lovely scene with Rahul, Khanna and Nandita and on a bicycle, and they're beautiful. And there's Amir and Nandita flying a kite, and so music evolves with the story. So you start off with something that's hopeful, that's about interfaith love, and then you end up with such despair.
The song that you just mentioned, Rahul Khanna and Nandita Das on a bicycle, Dhimi Dhimi, Javed Saab excels himself when he describes women. Be it Ek Ladki Ko Dekha To Aisa Laga, ya Afreen Afreen, which was composed by Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan Sahab. But in 1947 Earth, I think he surpassed himself. Dhimi Dhimi, Bhini Bhini, Khushbu Hai Tera Badan. What would you say?
I think it's beautiful. I think it's one of the most romantic songs I've ever heard, I don't know if Javed thinks so, but I really did. I mean, I thought it was so beautiful. And I don't know, it's just, you can smell the fragrance of love in that song, and there's a song that, there's another song that he's written, which he's exceptional, but there's another song of his that I really love, which is, I think you just mentioned it, it's in 1942. एक लड़की को देखा तो ऐसा लगा, beautiful.
वो चली हवा के नशा गुला है समा भी जैसे धुआं धुआं तेरा रूप है कि ये धूप है खुले बाल हैं कह बदलियां तू जो पास है मुझे प्यास है तेरे जिस्म का एहसास है धीमी 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 खुशबू है तेरा बदन.
1982, Mahesh Bhatt had made a film Earth. To avoid confusion, Deepa Mehta's film was called 1947 Earth in India.
Ma'am, Earth is among those few films made on India's partition and a grim reminder of how civilizations can crack. What made you opt for such a subject?
It was a very special film. I grew up in Delhi. I was born in Amritsar. I grew up went to school and university in Delhi, and but you can't grow up in Amritsar or even in Delhi and 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 not know what the partition did to even this day. Maybe now people are forgetting about it, but the division and the agony and what people lost and how many people were killed on both sides is something that we lived with always. So for me, it was a very important film to do. I mean, it's a special film about my racial memory. My parents, were part of my father left Lahore to come to Amritsar, and we have lots of friends, and he had lots of friends who were left in Pakistan, so-called Pakistan, and the toll that the partition took, and the whole idea of colonization, and the aftermath of colonization. This is not the first time the British have done this, or any other European country has done this. Belgium has done this, France has done this. They go into a country, they colonize it, they take all its wealth, then they leave it, and they leave it in ruins. I mean, it happens with Israel and Palestine, it's happened with Rwanda, it's happened all over the world. But coming from India, the history of what we've had to deal with has been heartbreaking. Any sectarian war is heartbreaking because, of course, what is used to perpetuate political violence is religion. It is the easiest tool to use, and for me, that was to explore that was very important.
In the film, one of the central characters was played by Amir Khan, who was a very big star even in mid-90s. Suppose you were to make 1947 Earth today. Will you get a mainstream film star to do your film?
I don't know. You live in India. You tell me.
I think I got my answer, ma'am.
"1947 Earth" was India's official entry for Academy Awards in the Best Foreign Language Film category. To share more stories of the music of 1947 Earth and Water, the third film of the trilogy, Deepa Mehta will continue with us in our next episode. Stay with us. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, press the bell icon and stay entertained.